Well, he may not have won, but Nigel Farage is the talking point on social media this morning. Like him or don't like him, that's the way things have panned out. I'm not surprised because now he's out of the jungle, people are asking him what his political ambitions are, and that was always going to be the case, wasn't it? Now you're out, what are you going to do? Are you going to try and make another bid for some sort of political victory? Before we get to that, though, it was interesting how on GMB this morning, when he was pressed about his alleged big paycheck, Farage did not deny it and defended it. Have a look.
I went there for two reasons. One was to say to the world, I've been the most demonised figure over the last decade in national politics. Nobody has been through what I've been through with the popular press demonising me. I wanted to show people I'm a normal human being, and you can't pretend to be that for 3 weeks, 23 nights in the jungle. Secondly, I wanted to test myself. Did I have the courage? Did I have the strength to go through the whole thing? I had no agenda other than that, I promise you.
Can I just mention the third one, a rumoured £1.5 million? Was that a motivator?
Oh, no, look, the money, of course. What's wrong with that? I gave up a very successful career in the City of London in the commodity markets. Colleagues of mine are on the rich list. I gave all that up. I live very modestly, have done for years. I did it because I had a political career. I've never moaned about it, never complained about it. But is this the biggest paycheck I've ever had? Yes, it is. And what on earth is wrong with that?
Actually, I kind of respect his response there. I was paid what I was paid. Why not? They offered it. I took it. Fine. You know, a lot of times, especially in British culture, I feel like people are embarrassed about money. But the trouble is that sometimes you can tell people have money, but they don't want to admit they have money. You know, I don't know if you have kids, but sometimes if you go to school, do the school run, you see parents showing up in the latest Range Rover, using the latest iPhone, wearing the finest clothes, but they don't seem to want to admit that they have money, which they obviously do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to afford those things, would they? And then I just think, just admit it. If you have money, say, yeah, I'm well off. I've got money. Great. You know, that's not a bad thing. It's not a terrible thing. And if you have lots of money, and especially if you use your money to help people, even better. That's the best thing, when you have lots of money and you can use it to help people. I have no idea what Nigel Farage does with his money, but he says he lives modestly. I don't know quite what modesty is by his definition, but he certainly doesn't come across as a particularly greedy man. But anyway, I am digressing.
We've talked about your bottom a lot over the last few weeks, Nigel. I'm really sorry to break this to you, and we have we've done a thorough analysis of it.
Isabel can't even look at you because she's seen more than she should have seen, but it's sort of eroticism, I think, with her. But a lot of people just
make me blush.
How would you describe Nigel's bottom?
His bottom, very good bottom. Very impressed.
Yes.
The bottom. It was the tight green lycra hot pants.
Oh, Dawn liked your hot pants, but anyway, we digress.
Now, something else he did touch on in another interview with GB News was nudity. And I didn't know they were going to ask him about this because it was, well, a rather touchy subject, but it may as well be laid bare now he's out of the jungle. And that was obviously that we got to see his bare butt on TV, and he was asked about this, and this was his response.
Is about my bare backside, which apparently I've learned has become a story. I was told that I shouldn't be naked, and yet the doctor said personal hygiene really matters in the jungle. Checking yourself for horrors like leeches matter. Well, how could you do that unless you were naked? So I ignored what they said, and I continued to shower naked every day. Interestingly, many other campmates did the same. Only I got the publicity. But you know something? I couldn't care less.
Well, I don't think it did you any harm, Nigel.
It was much appreciated by many people, including Isabel and Dawn.
Now, Nigel wouldn't be aware of this, but it wasn't just his naked butt we saw, was it, guys? Come on. We were all tuning in for I'm a Celebrity, show me your naked butt. It became a thing. We saw Nigel's butt. We saw Tony's butt. We saw Fred's butt. We saw a lot of butts. But that was enough. It stopped there. We didn't see any more butts after those butts, as far as I'm aware. And I wonder, okay, what Nigel said made sense, that you don't want to get the infections and the creatures down there, so you shower naked. However, in the interests of keeping things perfectly balanced, would there have been uproar if we'd seen a woman's butt? That's what I want to know. If you're a woman and you're watching this video, would there have been an uproar? Would you have considered that a step too far? Because we saw 3 men's naked butts, no women's naked butts. And Nigel said just there that they all showered naked. So, I mean, I'm not saying this from a pervy perspective. I'm just saying, in the interests of balance, we only saw men's butts. Okay, so next season of I'm a Celebrity, if it happens, I think there should be a lot of meetings at ITV about how many butts are we going to show this series and whose butt are we going to show. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, I think these are the really important things, aren't they? Let's be honest. These are the really, really important things. But anyway, getting on to political stuff. He was pressed about his political ambition, and things got a bit tense, actually, between him and Ed Balls and Susanna Reid when this subject came up.
All want to know 30 years on is, are you seeking to use your I'm a Celebrity journey in order to rejoin the Conservatives and maybe finally get into the UK Parliament? Because you've tried lots of times before.
I tried lots of times before, you're quite right. I also won 2 national elections in European elections, leading 2 different parties, something nobody in history has ever done before, so I can do with a little bit less of that sort of commentary. Look, I've literally just come out of the jungle. I've had a shave.
Touchy, Nigel.
I've got changed.
That's a bit touchy.
Well, yes, okay.
Touchy.
If you poke me with a... If you poke me with a stick, I'll poke back. Don't worry about that.
Look, I've got to say, I'm really sorry about the Matt Hancock thing.
He was only stating facts, Nigel.
I'm really sorry about the Matt Hancock thing. And I thought, you know, I'm really sorry. It was shameful of me. How dare I say you'd lost 7 elections?
I am looking at a Conservative government that is in total shambles, facing tomorrow effectively a confidence vote on an issue that affects every single living human being in our country, namely immigration on a level that never happened even during Tony Blair's days. Rishi is a lame duck walking. The Conservative Party are headed for total defeat. As to whether I have a future in politics, I have no idea at this moment in time, but what I would say is never say never. And our country needs, actually, people at the top with some firm guidance as to where we're going to go in the future. At the moment, we are rudderless, and I don't see a Labour Party with the strength to get us out of this mess.
The way things are going politically in this country, I really wouldn't be surprised if Nigel Farage ended up trying to get back into politics, joining the Conservative Party, making a bid for the leadership. Purely because politics in the last year has been so topsy-turvy and all over the place. I would hardly be shocked. And if you look around the world and you see other political movements happening, again, you'd think, well, there's a definite shifting going on here. You know, we have the election in Argentina, we have what's going on in America. So if it did happen, I wouldn't be surprised. That's not to say I approve of it, but I just think politics at the moment is in such a weak state. And when there's weak states in politics, that's always an opportunity for people to try and gain power. If you study history, you'll know this. Most of the dictators throughout history, who we dislike and who are horrible, came up into politics, took power when there was weakness in politics, grabbed it while they could, they saw a power vacuum and they got it, and that's how they managed to reign supreme the way they did. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he had a go, but, yeah, I mean... Sometimes you do wonder, don't you? You kind of think, I don't quite know what's going on in this country politically. But yeah, we'll see what happens. He did say more in the interview. I'm assuming GMB are going to put it up. But yeah, it's obviously a bit of a touchy one for him, isn't it? But he doesn't want to commit, and I completely understand that. But there you go. Now, I'm hoping to catch up with Sam at some point, but at the moment, I've got to be honest, Farage is just dominating. Maybe that'll calm down. Maybe something strange will happen to Sam. Maybe he'll say something bizarre. Maybe he'll say something racy and shocking, and we'll have something else to talk about. But right now, that's the way it is. So there we go. Goodbye. Enjoy this video. I hope you did. Why are those sentences in the wrong order? It's Monday.